Welcome back, folks. Today, we're rock and rolling on a brand new topic, and it's going to be the things that I've noticed people stress out over. And instead of those, I'll give you some other options that are actually really, really beneficial to the photo and video stage. Let's go with it. Thanks for joining us again. We're going to jump right on in. And the very first thing we're going to talk about is windows. Windows are one of those things that people tend to stress out about, even though 90% of the time they're covered with blinds and have a bad view behind them. So if you are in a typical house with a typical view, obviously, if you are in a multi-million-dollar mansion with a view of a lake, this does not apply to you. You do want to focus on your windows because that is a selling point. I'm talking about for the typical home, the average home, the home that's in a small neighborhood, a townhouse, or a condo. Now, those, instead of focusing on the windows, focus on mirrors. Mirrors are very, very important because they're one of the few places in a house that we can always tell are dirty as photographers and video content creators, especially those little toothbrush splatters. So work on cleaning your mirrors. Get those 100% and don't worry so much about the windows. Make sure all the blinds are faced the correct direction and make sure there's no junk on the other side of the windows hanging out like the garbage can. But overall, your windows don't need to be spotless. That's more important for in-person viewings, which you'll have a little more time for since content creation usually comes a few days before that. Let's talk about closets. And now we're going to talk about average closets. We're not talking about those giant walk-in closets with an island and built-in surround sound. We're talking about an average closet in an average property. Yes, your closet may be a walk-in by being able to take 2 steps into it, but it's not an important thing. It's really not going to show on the MLS well, and most agents won't use this photograph anyway since they're only limited to 30. Instead of focusing all this time on the closet, you should focus that time on the shower. Showers are one of the few things that will actually go to sell a average size property. Showers are important, and the cleaner they are and the cleaner they look, the better. Take everything from the inside of your shower and put it in your closet because your closet's not really that important. Once again, I reiterate, if you have a closet that is extremely rare for the size property you're in, then do photograph it. But if it would be considered an average closet for that size property, then please focus your time on more important things. Bathrooms are a super important thing, and making sure they are top clean and minimal junk is key factor in selling a property quickly, especially if it's your master suite. The very last thing I want to talk about for this video is going to be granite countertops. Now, I've mentioned it in earlier videos, but I'll reiterate the fact that granite is speckled and crazy looking and very, very difficult to tell when it's dirty, especially in photos or video. So instead of spending a whole lot of time cleaning your countertops, give them the general once over just as though you were at home and about to eat off of them, and then spend that time dusting and cleaning your ceiling fans and light fixtures. People always forget about this until I arrive, but ceiling fans are off for photos, light fixtures are visible, so all the dust, dirt, and debris that builds up is very noticeable in photos. Video, ceiling fans aren't quite as important because usually those are turned on for a little bit of motion, but photographically speaking, you want your ceiling fans to look clean. You also want to make sure all of your ducting is clean. All of your vents for your AC and heater work should all be spotless clean. That is the very first thing people are going to look at, not only in photos, but especially for in-person viewings. That's all we got for this episode. Those are really the 3 main things I've noticed people stress out about when really they could take that time and effort and devote it somewhere else for a higher payoff. Now, once again, I'll go back and reiterate. Does that mean any of the things we talked about are irrelevant and you shouldn't do them at all? Should you never clean your windows for photos? No, that's not what I mean. Obviously, clean your windows, but don't worry about getting them spotless. Obviously, clean your granite, but once again, don't worry about getting it spotless. It's all about taking this energy and focusing it in the right places or the places that will actually enhance the photos. You always want clean mirrors because I will see every single mirror in the house. I will not be taking up close photos of your windows, so don't worry if they're a little spotted. Check you next time.